Thanks for visiting my channel again. If you like this video, please don't forget to click the like button. So now, let's get started. It's one peaceful Christmas morning at a certain hotel. There are many guests here who came to enjoy the holidays for various reasons of their own. But not long after, the building quickly caught on fire, and the guests were soon trapped within. Myeongdong, one of the most famous city centers in Seoul, Junggu. After the Korean War, the general Myeongdong area demolished the shanty town that was originally present and slowly evolved into a cultural center with new buildings. Many buildings here were built during the Japanese occupation, and among them were Mitsukoshi, Sanakai Georgia and Hirata, which were department stores built by the Japanese people. Especially Hirata department store, which opened in 1920, had various businesses such as general stores, cabarets, take over ever since the liberation from Japanese occupation in 1946. But the building was totally destroyed after two large fires, and a new building named Daeyeonggak came to be built over the ruins. Yet once the building was completed in 1969, there would be the largest hotel fire in the world not long after. December the 24th, 1971, a day before the incident. The Korean salarymen, who were working 6 days a week at the time, were excited for the 2-day weekend, thanks to Christmas on Saturday. So on Christmas Eve, more people spent time outside on the streets. Myeongdong, which was the only downtown area in Seoul, numerous people gathered to enjoy themselves on Christmas Eve, and at Daeyeonggak Hotel, which was opposite the Shinsegae department store, filled up with numerous guests. Daeyeonggak Hotel, which was 21 floors high, was one of the tallest buildings in Seoul, and many people checked into the hotel for a special holiday. December 25, Christmas Day, around 9 a.m. The guests who stayed up late partying for Christmas spent late into the morning in their rooms. The cafe in the building prepared an extra 20 kilograms gas tank for the gas stoves, in case guests began piling in. At 9:50 a.m., there was a sudden explosion at the cafe, and the flames began spreading uncontrollably. As soon as the fire started, it spread to the stairs, blocking off the exit. Soon the elevators stopped functioning as well, locking people into the building. Because there were numerous buildings not too far from the hotel, guests staying at lower floors jumped to neighboring buildings or jumped out of the building using clothes, bed sheets, and even mattresses. There was a firehouse not 1 kilometer away from the hotel, and firemen made their way to the site, but since they were inexperienced in dealing with high-rise fires, they had equipment that could only reach up to the 7th floor, so those above were out of their reach. They tried bringing in archers to tie ropes to the arrows, but the arrows were too light to reach them, and the flames completely engulfed the 21-story building within an hour and 30 minutes. The fire, which began from the extra gas canister from the cafe, immediately blocked off the exit by catching the stairs on fire. In particular, most of the interior material used for Daeyeonggak building were easily flammable materials, and hanji plastered on the walls of the hotel, and the mostly wood-based interior, nylon sheets, and various other elements made the building very vulnerable to fire. And since there was no fire door installed in the staircase ironically ended up acting as a passageway for fire to spread, and because there were no emergency exits or sprinklers installed, the building was completely vulnerable to fire. The Daeyeonggak Hotel did not immediately receive a completion inspection once it was completed, and instead chose to get an inspection when building regulations were briefly loosened, and this was a month before the disaster, November 24th. People on the higher parts of the building who could not escape either hung to the windows for escape or leaped outside the windows themselves. At this time, a hotel employee on the 7th floor, upon noticing the flames, immediately woke up everyone in their rooms and led them to safety to a neighboring building's rooftop and saved 50 lives. And among those who used mattresses to escape, there was one who escaped by holding the mattress above their head like a parachute. As luck would have it, they survived with a light wound on their lower body, but most people who fled to the roof suffocated because the roof door was locked. Because many lacked television in their homes back then, people would gather at a neighbor's house with a TV. Many people were traumatized by the live broadcast on a Christmas morning, which normally should have been exciting. The Daeyeonggak incident was similar to another incident at Daeyeonggak Hotel fires 25 years back in December of 1946. In particular, the open structure of stairwells accelerating the spread of fire, the usage of flammable materials for the interiors, and the lack of sprinkler systems were notable similarities. The loose regulations regarding fire safety in buildings were the reasons in both cases. 1970s in Korea was a time of rapid development in Seoul, so most buildings were built with safety as the last thing on their minds, and despite the fact that over 100 high-rises were built, the social climate obsessed with growth led to negligence in safety measures, such as fire preventions. Among 300 guests, 166 people died, and 25 went missing at the site. And the remaining 110 survivors were either safely rescued from the site or escaped on their own, but over 70 of them were injured, and most suffered from long-lasting trauma. Thanks to over 1,000 rescue workers at the scene, the fires were doused within 7 hours, but the temperature inside the building was too high, so it took them 18 more hours to complete the operation. After this incident, sprinkler installation became mandatory in all buildings. Fire insurance added special building contracts, leading to establishment of fire insurance laws. The yen of Daeyeonggak means to burn, to be burned in Chinese characters, but it is still being used as its name for the Goryeo Daeyeonggak Tower at the same site. Thank you for watching until the end. If you have any opinion on the video, or have a topic you would like to watch, please leave them as a comment. Thank you.